If Caitlyn would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league.
Did you catch the absolute bombshell Dave Portnoy just dropped on the WNBA? Oh yeah, he's back. And this time, he didn't just throw shade or rant from the sidelines. He came in swinging with something far bigger. Portnoy just made an offer so jaw-dropping, so record-shattering, it could single-handedly blow the WNBA's fragile foundation to pieces. We're talking about a full-scale business move, one that could rewrite basketball history forever. A $100 million deal. And it's all centered around one person, Caitlin Clark.
You said you'd partner with her and give her $100 million. That's the biggest offer that she's gotten. So
if she would have let me be her agent, I would have in a second. And if she's like, I'll start a new league with you, I would get her whatever you want.
Like millions of fans who actually understand what's happening, Portnoy knows the truth. The WNBA only has a pulse right now because of Caitlin Clark. Period. The way the league, and especially its commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, has treated her isn't just disrespectful, it's pure humiliation. That's why Portnoy is doing what no one else has dared to do. He's putting $100 million on the table, basically saying, Caitlin, forget them. Start your own league. If you think Clark should take the deal and leave the WNBA in the dust, go ahead and hit that like button and let us know down in the comments, because this might be the story that ends the league as we know it.
If Caitlin Clark said, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home and I'm starting my own league, the WNBA would be done in 2 seconds. You don't think Caitlin Clark could line up billionaire investors and start and just get all these players to come with her if they're going to pay a lot more? Of course she would, but for some reason, they want to alienate her. It's like they want her to suffer coming in. You just never seen anything like it where the commissioner doesn't seem to value the stars or the golden goose.
But here's the twist everyone's missing. This wasn't some random late-night rant from Portnoy. No, he's dead serious. This was strategic, planned, calculated. He laid out an actual business plan to back it up, and after listening to him, you'd almost believe Caitlin's already weighing her options. The question now is, how real is this? And if she takes it, are we witnessing the beginning of the end for the WNBA's current leadership? Because from the looks of it, the commissioner might have just dug her own grave on live TV. Let's be honest, Dave Portnoy isn't new to controversy. He thrives on it. He's a business mogul, a media powerhouse, and a guy who never bites his tongue. But this time, he didn't just stir the pot. He flipped the entire table. What he said wasn't just bold, it was the WNBA's worst nightmare made real. In his latest appearance, Portnoy made one thing crystal clear. If Caitlin Clark ever wants to launch her own league, he'll be the first one in line to back her up. No hesitation, no second thoughts. And to prove it, he's offering a mind-blowing $100 million to make it happen.
If she truly was like, I'm out of here, I'm starting my own league, she'd have people lining up, including myself, and she would put the WNBA out of business. I really do believe that. I think she's that powerful for the whole league.
Now, let's not confuse this for some empty headline. Dave Portnoy doesn't bluff. If you followed his track record, you know he's already deep in major sports investments. So when a man like that gets on live television and publicly makes a promise that big, you better believe he means every word. And that's what's got the WNBA scrambling right now. Because if Caitlin even thinks about saying yes, Engelbert's entire house of cards collapses overnight. And here's where it gets even juicier. Portnoy didn't stop after making the offer. Nope. He doubled down, practically campaigning for Caitlin to take it. You could hear it in his tone. He wasn't pitching. He was persuading. It felt like a live negotiation in front of millions. Portnoy is all in and the league knows it.
Money talks. Like if you get the money lined up and you get the superstars like, oh, you can only make $1 million here, you can make 5 with our league. I think it would work.
I mean, when she was golfing, originally when she did that little celebrity golf thing, it wasn't going to be televised. And there were so many people emailing them saying like, can we see this? Like, how can we see this? And then all of a sudden it was on television. And so even that in itself, it's like Caitlin, she hit somebody with the golf ball.
Yeah,
that's like, she's not, you know, it's not like she's this phenomenal golfer that, no offense, Caitlin, but like.
she would be top 3. Like if I could just be like, hey, I want Barstool to rep you and have the rights to like use your marketing, and she would top line, male, female, any. I believe that's how powerful she really is.
Now, before we unpack every word of his pitch, you need to understand why this offer even exists. Because once you see the ridiculous missteps, the tone-deaf leadership, and the pure arrogance the WNBA has shown toward its biggest star, you'll see exactly why Portnoy's proposal hit like a thunderclap. And more importantly, why Caitlin might finally be tempted to walk away for good. So here's where this whole firestorm really started. Just a few days ago, Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa Collier dropped an absolute grenade during her exit interview. She exposed a private conversation she had with none other than Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. And what she revealed wasn't just embarrassing, it was career-suicidal honesty. Collier said that Engelbert told her players should basically bow down and be grateful for everything the commissioner has supposedly done for them.
I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
That alone was mind-blowing arrogance. But what came next made jaws hit the floor. According to Collier, Engelbert also said that Caitlin Clark should be thankful to the WNBA because, get this, every brand deal, every sponsorship, every dime she's earning was only possible thanks to the league. That's right. The commissioner of the WNBA basically took credit for Caitlin Clark's global popularity. Let's stop right there. That is one of the most disrespectful things any sports executive could possibly say about the one athlete keeping their league alive. Engelbert wasn't just out of line. She was delusional, and fans saw right through it. The backlash was instant. Social media exploded. Fans, analysts, even former players, all calling for one thing: fire Cathy Engelbert.
That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world.
But just as that storm was raging, another controversy came crashing in from left field. One that no one saw coming. People started asking, wait, could there actually be some truth buried in Cathy's words? And that question sparked a wildfire across sports media. Analysts started digging, crunching numbers, comparing revenue, and what they found was a cold, brutal truth that left the league completely exposed.
Do you give Cathy Engelbert credit for the TV deals that she has struck, or does all this kind of lead to her demise?
No, I give her no credit for anything she struck, because as far as I know, it was a struggling league until this new class of rookies came out. And I mean, listen, this may say a lot about my WNBA knowledge. If you threw A'ja Wilson's name at me like 2 years ago, I'm not sure I really would have known who that is. I certainly would have known who Napheesa Collier is. Like, yes, I knew the bigger stars, and those are as big, but like I'm talking to Diana Taurasi, but I wasn't locked in on this league. Everything has changed.
And that's when Dave Portnoy stepped in with the knockout punch. His response wasn't just a rant. It was a surgical demolition of everything Engelbert tried to claim. He said it flat out. The WNBA's been around for decades and nobody cared. Nobody watched. Nobody bought tickets. Then Caitlin Clark shows up, and suddenly, everyone's paying attention. He wasn't wrong. The receipts back him up.
The ratings show it. The interest shows it. We're talking about it. You turn on Fox Sports, you talk, or ESPN, they talk about the WNBA a lot. That was never the case like 3-4 years ago.
I mean, last season was insane, and you can look at the ratings too. And I think there was like the fevered numbers actually were better than some NBA teams' numbers when it came to viewership last season. And so like the numbers are there.
Just look at the numbers. The Indiana Fever's ratings this past season, astronomical. Some games outperformed NBA broadcasts. Let that sink in. A star, in her first 2 years as a pro, playing in a league that was struggling to fill arenas, was suddenly drawing audiences bigger than professional men's teams. That's not hype. That's dominance. That's what happens when a superstar changes the culture of an entire sport. Every metric proves it. When Caitlin plays, the stands are packed, the cameras are rolling, and the world is watching. When she sits out, crickets. That's not fan bias, that's reality. And denying that is like pretending sunlight doesn't exist at noon.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
And here's the reality. The league's trying to suppress that truth instead of embracing it. Engelbert's leadership has been defined by insecurity, jealousy, and bad decisions. Instead of building the WNBA around Caitlin Clark, she's been busy trying to prove the league doesn't need her. That's the kind of ego that kills empires. Because what the commissioner doesn't understand is that Caitlin isn't just another player. She's the golden ticket, the kind of once-in-a-generation phenomenon that every sport dreams of. Yes, it's uncomfortable that one player carries this much power, but it's also the biggest opportunity the WNBA has ever had. Instead of fighting it, they could have leaned in, grown the league, fixed the refs, improved the product, treated the players better. But Cathy Engelbert chose pride over progress. And now, with Dave Portnoy putting $100 million on the table, she's finally facing the consequence of that arrogance. Because here's the truth. The WNBA didn't make Caitlin Clark famous. Caitlin Clark made the WNBA relevant. And if she walks away, so do the fans, the sponsors, the broadcasters, the headlines, everything.
These are the same players who have essentially tried to run Caitlin and her fans out of this league, including me. I won't make it about me, but if you recall, and I will make it about me, when I went to the Fever Chicago game, they launched an investigation saying I was doing monkey calls, which is the most outrageous thing in the history of the world because of the Jumbotron, and a league that'll say Indiana Fever fans are bad and we're doing investigations with no proof, no nothing, and have never stuck up for Caitlin. And you've had players be like, it's not about her, why she get all the attention? But then they don't complain when they get private planes from Caitlin in the new media deals.
And here's the truly maddening part. The WNBA still doesn't get it. They've been handed the golden ticket, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to transform women's sports forever. And instead of protecting it, they're lighting it on fire. Rather than celebrating the superstar who single-handedly put them on the map, they're busy disrespecting her in public, taking passive-aggressive shots at the very player fans pay to see. You couldn't script worse management if you tried. It's complete madness. It's self-sabotage in its purest form, like watching someone saw off the branch they're sitting on while bragging about how steady their balance is. And that exact kind of delusional thinking is what finally pushed Dave Portnoy over the edge. His viral on-camera offer wasn't random. It was the boiling point of frustration shared by millions of Caitlin Clark fans who've watched this league make mistake after mistake. Portnoy just said what everyone else has been thinking. The WNBA doesn't deserve Caitlin Clark.
They've alienated an entirely new fan base, and it's almost like the old guard have consistently, we want the credit, we don't want to share in the pot. So Nafisa is correct, and she's been saying those things from the jump, but I find it curious, a lot of the players who don't seemingly equate embracing all these new fans with bigger contract deals, bigger money, are now agreeing with her. It's both. The referees stink. Everything about the league, the way they run it and market it, stink. The way they treat their fans, stink. So all of this is true.
But let's be clear. Dave Portnoy didn't jump into this because he's just a fanboy of Caitlin Clark. The guy's a shark. In his interview, he broke it down with cold precision. Women's basketball is exploding. The growth, the attention, the numbers, everything is trending straight up. And in Portnoy's world, that means one thing: opportunity. He compared it to getting in early on a tech boom or a crypto wave. In other words, Caitlin Clark isn't just a sports icon, she's a business revolution waiting to happen.
Right now, amongst the billionaire class, sports seem to be like the next big investment wave, right? Especially with all other entertainment kind of going AI. Like, this is going to be where human beings are still telling stories on the field, on the court, where everybody wants to put in their money.
And unlike the WNBA brass, Dave actually has a vision. He didn't just float the idea out there like some hot take. He laid out a full-blown blueprint for how he'd build this league from the ground up and make it profitable. He explained how fans are already hungry for something better, something that actually respects their time and money. All it would take is a league that gets the basics right: real marketing, competitive games, and a product centered around stars like Caitlin Clark. Because the demand is already through the roof, the WNBA just refuses to cash in on it. Think about it. You don't need a doctorate in economics to understand what's happening here. Caitlin Clark equals sold-out arenas. Caitlin Clark equals national headlines. Caitlin Clark equals television ratings that rival NBA broadcasts. Put her at the center of a well-run league, and the revenue practically prints itself. It's not rocket science, it's common sense. And that's exactly why Portnoy's offer hit so hard. It wasn't just a fantasy, it was a reality check for every executive who's been too arrogant to admit how vital Caitlin Clark really is.
They got to clean up the league. The refereeing is atrocious, and you can't.
What do you think is the change there?
You got to let your superstars be superstars. You can't let your best players be getting mugged. Freedom of movement, things like that. Like, people don't want to. There's a reason why everyone's hurt. Like, protect your players. Like, it's not in the NBA. Yeah, okay, fine. In the beginning, like, Jordan was getting hammered, but like, you don't want.
But they changed the rules.
Correct. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to be like, we want Caitlin or Paige to shine. Like, that helps the game. Let your superstars be superstars. That's what we want to see.
And then came the part that really stunned people. Portnoy didn't just talk business. He spoke directly to Caitlin, like a man pitching a once-in-a-lifetime partnership. He compared what she's making now, through her endorsement deals, to what she could be earning if she teamed up with him. And according to Portnoy, what she's earning right now is pocket change compared to the empire she could build. The implication was crystal clear. She doesn't need the WNBA, they need her. And in case anyone thought $100 million sounded like a bluff, Dave was way ahead of them. He revealed he already has billionaires lined up, ready to back the project if Caitlin says yes. Investors who see the same thing he sees: massive upside, global attention, and a future where women's basketball finally gets the respect it deserves. This wasn't smoke and mirrors. It was a genuine business move, a play to rewrite the power structure of the entire sport.
If Caitlin would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million, and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league.
So when you step back and look at it, Portnoy isn't bluffing. He's dead serious. And Caitlin Clark, for the first time in her career, holds all the cards. She's in a position of absolute leverage, one where she could change everything overnight. She could walk away, start her own league, and take every fan, sponsor, and camera crew with her. Because at this point, let's face it, fans don't follow the WNBA, they follow Caitlin Clark. And wherever she goes, the spotlight goes too. But here's the big question everyone's been asking. What does Caitlin Clark think about all of this? Has she responded to Portnoy's jaw-dropping proposal? Is she even considering it? The answer, for now, is no public comment. Caitlin hasn't said a word about the $100 million offer, but Portnoy himself admitted that she seems fully committed to the WNBA and her team. She's focused, loyal, and laser dedicated to the game. And that loyalty, whether you call it heart or humility, is exactly why she's so beloved.
Very rarely, if ever, publicly says anything that like should cause any waves. She's kind of like been a good trooper for the Fever and the league.
Still, loyalty cuts both ways. Because while Caitlin's giving the WNBA everything she has, the league keeps giving her reasons to walk away. Engelbert and her inner circle are running out of time to fix this. Every insult, every bad call, every public misstep pushes Clark 1 inch closer to the exit door, and 1 inch closer to Portnoy's open invitation. So, here we are. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. On one path, they could rebuild the league around their biggest star, elevate the product, and finally start acting like they deserve her. On the other, they could keep pretending they're the ones doing her a favor, and watch her take her talent, her fans, and her billion-dollar influence somewhere else. Because make no mistake, if Caitlin Clark ever decides to take Portnoy up on that offer, it won't just be a sports story, it'll be an earthquake. It would be the ultimate revenge on the league that disrespected her. It would be the day the WNBA finally realizes too late that you can't build a future by alienating your present. So what do you think? Should Caitlin Clark keep carrying a league that keeps taking her for granted? Or take control of her destiny and change the game forever? Because either way, one thing's for sure. The power's no longer in the commissioner's hands. It's in Caitlin Clark's. If you think Clark should take the deal and leave the WNBA in the dust, let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.